Hello friends, this video on Matrices part 35 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Before watching this video, please make sure that you have watched part 1 to part 34. Now let's understand a way to find inverse of a matrix by elementary operations. As I told, example, you have a matrix, let's suppose 5, 6, 7, 8 or something. You want to find the inverse. You say this matrix is A, let's suppose. A is some matrix, and this into A inverse is nothing but I 1 0 0 1. So using my operations, row operation, column operation, if I can just make this as 1 0 0 1, so this will be 1 0 0 0 1 into A inverse is nothing but some value I'll get. Let's suppose any value I'll get. I'll just put A B C D now. So this becomes, in that case I can say that A inverse is equal to A B C D. Thus it's very easy to find A inverse using the elementary operation. Let's take an example actually. So we are told that A is equal to 1 to 2 minus 1, and we have to find the inverse of this. We can do using both row operation and column operation. Let's try to do using row operation and solve this using row operation only. I'll use only rows. In the next slide, I'll solve the same question using column operation. So using row operation, so I have, this is my row 1 and this is my row 2. Now I'll say that A into A inverse is equal to I. Correct? So I can write the same thing as 1, 2, 2 minus 1 into A inverse is nothing but I. So this is my I. Identity matrix. This is 1. This is my I. So now let me do one thing. Let me perform the row operation on this. The first thing I have to make this as 1 1 0 0. The target is to make this as 1 1 0 0. As I told, if I make this 1 1 0 0, then that is into A inverse is some value to find this. So this is already 1. So my purpose is solved. Second thing is, since this is R1 and this is R2, what I can do is I can try to make this guy as 0. Because my final target is 1 0 0 1, correct? This has to be this one. This is already 1. This guy is 2. I have to make it 0. So how can I do? How can I make it 0? If I can say that this guy is nothing but, that is R2 is nothing but 2 times R1. So this becomes 2 minus 2 into 1 2. So this becomes 0. That is the target I have now. See, if you want to make it 0, or I can use column operation, I have to say C1 is nothing but C1 plus 2C2. So 2 plus 2 becomes 0. But I am using row operation now, so I can use these rows only. Correct? So I'll say R2 is nothing but R2 minus 2R1. Why? Because I wanted to make this guy 0. This is my target. So this becomes R1 is unchanged, R2 becomes R2 minus 2R1, that is 2 minus 2 into 2, 0, minus 1 minus 2 into 2, that is minus 1 minus 4, that is minus 5. Got it? Minus 1 minus 2 times of 2, that is minus 1 minus 4 minus 5. 2 minus 2 times of 1, 0, into A inverse. So since I performed this side, I have to perform this side also. R1 remains unchanged, R2 will change. This becomes 0 minus 2 into 1, that is minus 2. This becomes 1 minus 2 into 0, that is 1. This is done. Now the second step, this guy has to be 1. Correct? So to get this guy has to be 1, what I can do is I can multiply R2 with minus 1 by 5. This becomes 1. That is one possibility, because if I now subtract this guy with this, which I have already done now, this guy will get changed. I don't want to impact this. I want to impact only this guy. If I multiply this with some number, this guy is 0, this won't get changed. So I can use a multiplication. So I can say R2 is equal to minus 1 by 5 R2. Please understand why I am doing this, else it will be difficult for you. So R1 is same, this becomes 0 by 1 by 5, that is 0, minus 5 by minus 1 by 5, that is become 1. Into A inverse becomes, row 1 is unchanged, minus 2 into minus 1 by 5, that is 2 by 5, and 1 into minus 1 by 5, that is minus 1 by 5. So I have got these numbers. These numbers also have changed. Now my target is this guy. Now if I multiply this guy, this, because since I'm using row only now, if I multiply by 2, this becomes 1 by 2, so I can't multiply now. I have to subtract. If I subtract this guy with this guy, I get 1. This guy with this guy, 1 is still there, so I can use subtraction. That means I can say R1 is nothing but R1 minus R2. If I do this fashion, sorry, I have to make it 0, so I have to say 2R1, because this minus 2 into R2 is 2R2. I have to make it 0. So if I do this, this is still same, this guy is only changed. So what I get is, let's suppose R2 is same, R1 becomes R1 minus 2 R2, 1 becomes 1 minus 2 into 0 is again 1, 2 becomes 2 minus 2 into 1, that is 2 minus 2, that is 0, into A inverse becomes, this guy remains same, these guys will change. This guy is R1 minus 2 R2, that is 1 minus 2 into 2 by 4, 2 by 5, that is 1 minus 4 by 5, that is 1 by 5. Similarly, this guy becomes 0 minus 2 into minus 1 by 5, so that becomes 2 by 5. So that means what I get is A inverse is nothing but 1 by 5, 2 by 5, 2 by 5, minus 1. And that is my answer. So what I have done here, I wrote in this fashion, A into A inverse is equal to I, A into A inverse is equal to I. Now my goal was to convert this guy into this fashion, 1 1 0 0, this one, identity matrix. 1 was there, so I didn't change it. This guy I wanted to make it 0. Since I am using row operation, I have either multiplying operation, option to multiply with this some number, or add or subtract another row. If I multiply this with, I want to make it 0, multiplying with 0 is not possible, because multiplication, division, everything holds for non-zero numbers. So the max I can do is I can subtract this guy with twice of this, so that this guy becomes 0, and that's what I have done. Then I got this 0, but this guy is minus 5 now. I want to make it 1. Since it is minus 5, I can use this formula, multiplication formula, to make it 1. This guy became 1, this guy is 2 now. I have to make it 0 now. I can't use the multiplication formula because I can't multiply by 0. So I use this R2 is equal to R1 minus 2 R2, because 2 minus twice of this becomes 0, and this is not impacted, and thus I got this. Let's solve the same question using column matrix. So I have A is equal to 1, 2, 2 minus 1. I have to find A inverse. I know A into A inverse is nothing but I. So you can use this formula, 1, 2, 2 minus 1. Same formula into A inverse is equal to I. I is this, all 2 plus 2 matrix. Now my goal here is to convert this guy A into identity form, and now I am using only column operations. If you see one is here, good for us. The second thing I can change is this guy or this guy, but I don't know how to change this guy. If I want to change this guy using column operation C1 and C2, I don't think it's possible, because if I want to make it 0, I can't use the 0 thing, 1 to 0. If I say C1 is equal to C1 plus 2 C2, this becomes 0, but this becomes 1 plus 4, 2 into 4, this becomes 5. I don't want to change this, so I can't change this guy now. I can try changing this. So let me try changing this. To change this, I have to make it 0. This becomes, let's suppose I say C2 is C2 minus 2C1. So this becomes 2 minus 2, 0. This guy is changed, but this guy is not impacted. You see, this guy is not impacted. This guy is impacted. So what I can say is C2 is nothing but C2 minus 2C. So what I get here is C1 is still same. C2 is C2 minus 2C1. 2 minus 2 into 1, that is 2 minus 2, 0. Minus 1 minus 2 into 2, that is minus 1 minus 4, that is minus 5. Into A inverse is equal to C2 minus 2C1. So C1 is still same. C2 is equal to C2 minus 2C1. 0 minus 2 into 1, minus 2. And this becomes 1 minus 2 into 0, that is. Till now, we are good. So I have got 1, 0 here. Now my goal has to be this, to make this as 1. This is very simple, because if I multiply this guy, the whole thing by minus 1 by 5, this thing will still be 0 and this thing will become 1. Correct? So I'll do that. So I'll take C2 is equal to minus 1 by 5 into C2. So C1 is same. This becomes 0 into minus 1 by 5, 0. And minus 5 into minus 1 by 5, that is 1 into A inverse is equal to, this guy is same, and this becomes minus 2 into minus 1 by 5, 2 by 5, and 1 into minus 1 by 5 is minus 1 by 5. Correct? Now this is done. Now the challenge is this guy. I have to make this 0. Making 0 is not difficult. If I can say C1 is nothing but C1 minus 2, C2. 1 still remains same, 2 becomes 0 here. So I can say that C1 is nothing but C1 minus 2C2. So this becomes 1 minus 2 0 is 1 minus 0 is 1. 2 minus 2 into 1, that is 2 minus 2, 0. This is same into A inverse is equal to, this guy will remain same. I'm not changing this. This guy will change. This becomes 1 minus 2 into 2 by 5. This is 1 minus 4 by 5. Correct? 1 minus 2 into, so this becomes 1 by 5. And this becomes 0 minus 2 into minus 1 by 5. So minus minus cancel, plus 2 by 5. This becomes 2. So this is my answer. This is 1 by 5. So I say A inverse is nothing but 1 by 5, 2 by 5, 2 by 5, minus 1. And then very simple. So I can use either row or column to get A inverse. Please note that in case after applying one or more elementary operations, if you obtain all zeros in one or more two rows, then A inverse doesn't exist. So you keep applying these operations. If you get all zeros here or all zeros here in any row or column, you get all zeros, that means A inverse doesn't exist. Thank you. Visit examfear.com to watch free educational videos, try free online tests, get the best quality study materials, study from the best tutors and mentors, and much more. Thanks once again.